Okay, hello. I am back in my Figma documents for the namespace website, and I am a bit lost actually because I haven't seen this in a while. Um, I guess what I really want to do, I mean, I remember basically where I was at. Um, I want to actually try to work on some user flows, or maybe not. There's not much more to do. I think what I'm missing though, oh, here's a kind of painting page, but the user's messing around with the UI here with the menu. So maybe I can take this and then create, man, my screen is so dirty. Good Lord. Side note, I've been researching water. I don't know. It was kind of a random thing, actually. Um, no, I was researching dis. Wait, what was I researching? I don't even remember. Anyways, I came across this kind of randomly served YouTube video about distilled water and how much superior it is than other water, and how it contains true distilled water doesn't contain any contamination, any toxins, and you can verify that with I guess it's a toxin meter. It measures parts per water. So total pure water, distilled water is 0 parts per, I guess it's million. So then I was like, oh my God. And I saw this video of this doctor or the scientist kind of explaining why it's important to not drink tap water, and also why basically commercial products, commercial filters like Brita, don't really do a good job, and even reverse osmosis technique. I can't even speak. Even reverse osmosis doesn't get everything out really. And then there's this thing called volatile organic compounds that can also get back into your water even through the distillation process. So that's why they use good distillers will have a carbon filter at the end, where at the spout where the water goes into your collection jar. Um, so a lot of things that I didn't even realize. Are these cancer contributors? Probably on some level, but I think it's really important to. I'm sure that's going to show up in my artwork eventually. Anyways, moving along. So yet another thing I have to eventually get. So I don't know if I want to work on this page so much. This is basically how everything's presented. I mean, all the paintings will be presented in this kind of, it's ordered chaos, I would say. It basically displays all the works in scale. This is just an example. I mean, this is obviously bad because a small painting next to big paintings will obviously not translate well in thumbnail mode because, but I want it to be very accurate. And I probably won't even paint that small. I don't plan to. So the page will probably never look like this. It'll look more like this row. All the paintings will be this size, these boxes and rectangles. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so that's set. Now I'm thinking about in terms of hovering. Now, I've seen a lot of websites and web apps do some like kind of like crazy transition when the user hovers. I'm going to ungroup that because that's annoying me. A crazy transition or semi-crazy transition when a user hovers over a picture. What will happen is the picture might expand like a little bit out, like 10 pixels on each side, just kind of scale up. It's kind of distracting. I mean, I prefer that over the entire thumbnail losing alpha, like getting semi-transparent a little bit, even by a little bit. I hate that because what I've noticed is when I'm going to websites, when I'm looking at an image gallery, my pointer it will sometimes go where my eye is going. Like I'll just have my hand on the mouse or the touchpad and I'll just be going where my eye's going. The two are like linked somehow. And it makes sense. So I think it's really bad if you're interested in a specific thumbnail image or image and you're going there with your eye to investigate it more, but your pointer is also following along. And then when your pointer gets there, the whole picture dims in energy. Maybe it'll have a black, like a semi-translucent black div overlay applied to it with some text that appears below or on top of the image, which I understand, but at the same time, that's bad UX, in my opinion, because that information should already be present. Yeah, because number one, you're dimming the image, and number two, you're forcing the user to have to do that to every image to see the extra information. So it's stupid. It's a kind of trendy trick or technique, but it's just bad UX. I understand the motivation to get rid of as much a user interface as possible to clean up the design. I mean, that's definitely a practice that makes sense to a certain degree within the GUI world, the graphical user interface world. And I think this is kind of like indicative of the motivation to go to brain to computer interfacing, BCI, brain computer interfacing. If you really ask a person if they like to use the smartphone, I mean, if you really drill down, no, it's a fucking horrible experience. People just live with the problem. It's kind of like, like kind of Steve Jobs. I think he mentioned that, we're solving problems people didn't even know they had. Consciously, people don't know they have it, but subconsciously, yeah, they're feeling it. They're feeling the pain. Anyways, kind of a tangent, but not really. I want to keep all this information here. I don't want to do a stupid overlay effect, at least nothing that obvious. I'm wondering if creating a background, yeah, I don't want anything too dramatic. Maybe just this text will become blue. I don't know. Not very important to deal with right now, though, because I don't have even any pictures to pop into these squares. So I won't get the full effect of doing any style changes, so it's pointless. But there's some tricky rules here. So basically what has to happen here is JavaScript has to calculate how many thumbnails can fit within a row here. JavaScript also has to so if only two can fit in a row, they have to live within a div that gets centered within the main column area. So, I mean, that's an important rule to kind of recognize and write down right now. First off, what I want to do is I want to identify my kind of, well, I don't even know what it is here. Okay, so here's the user flow for accessing the menu. You kind of, user is about to hover over the menu. User has begun to hover. Okay, so when the user gets here, but I haven't designated a hover zone. I guess this would be the hover zone, right? I want to kind of apply this. I'm going to move this whole section to another page because it's getting too busy. I'll add this as image viewer and I want to make sure all my everything is unlocked before I make this move. And that's good. Now we have some space to play. So yeah, that's my space here. Okay. So we're pretty close to this edge here. So I think now what we can do is say what the main content area is. Something like this. And I want to change that a little bit here. I'm going to detach this instance and I'm really not good at Figma. I'm just kind of writing my own rules. I'm not playing by their playbook with these components. Not all the time anyways. So this would be the thumbnail gallery area, div maybe. And then so somehow it would have to determine, the JS would have to determine what because remember this screen could be any width, so that's a major rule we have to deal with. So the thumbnail size is based on how many, we want to fit as many as possible. No, we don't want to fit as many as possible. We want to fit at least three. Let's, you know what? Let's actually simulate the true height of a page. Oh no, you know what I got to do? A lot of these Figma can screw with you big time with this constraint thing. If you don't have that set, you can really screw shit up. What I like to do is I like to create the fold in the page, kind of like around 700 to 800, but I'm going to be very tight right now because not everybody is going to be in full height mode when browsing a site. So what we can offer the user is at least 3 pictures and then some. A 3-picture row for sure, and then some. Okay, so that's good. I'm gonna have to hire somebody to do this. Anyways, so the rule would, let me get my writing text. I don't even know what that is. Like right there. Just write some notes down. Really wish Figma had some spell checking going on, because notes are really important when you're designing. So maximum height of each row would be something like 500. So if we're just dealing with picture, I'm going to write some rules down. Max, I don't even know if I'm writing proper CSS. Max height, I'm going to write some pseudocode. Max height, thumbnail max height. Thumbnail max height equals 450 pixels. So that's one rule, because the column is going to be, the image, not the image, just the image. This is just the rule for the image. The column will be a little bit taller because of this kind of area down here. Just gonna make this a different color. Oh dear God. Okay. Oops. Thumbnail max height equals 450 pixels. Thumbnail row max number of thumbnails equals 3. If and we got to call this if thumbnail gallery content div how do we write this? Horizontal gutters is equal with if thumbnail gallery content div. God, this fucking shit's getting crazy. If thumbnail gallery, I'll just say container div equal, I'm trying to find out the word to, okay, hold on. If thumbnail row is more than, if thumbnail row with if 3 painting this is getting funny. It's fun to work this shit out though. If 3 Remember, we're always going to try to get 3 thumbnails in there. Is more than thumbnail gallery content container div, then I'll just actually really make this more like code. Then I'll do 2. Then thumbnail, if next, then thumbnail row equals if thumbnail row quantity hold on. If thumbnail row thumb quantity equals 3, if thumbnail row thumbnail quantity equals 3 with, maybe I'll do something like this, dot thumbnail quantity equals thumbnail row quantity, no, I don't even know what I'm doing now, equals 3 with, I don't, I'm really just smashing up languages now. I really don't know what I'm doing. Is more than thumbnail gallery container div thumbnail gallery container with, okay, so that's, I think that reads a little bit better, but probably not the best, obviously not. Then thumbnail row thumb quantity -1. So there's that. I think that makes sense. Trying to be like a programmer. So basically that will, now I feel the need to open this up a little bit better, more, just in case. So that will definitely and yeah, not sure if I even, there has to be a little bit of space there, right? Oopsie daisy. I would say there has to be a little bit of space. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Try to see what this is really going to look like. More like that. So when the row gets shifted down to 2, like as in the case of here, we have to be able to center this within this thumbnail gallery container div here. This is thumbnail gallery container div, so we want that centered. There we go. And now you're starting to like have this. I just feel like I have to move this to some new layer or something. I wish there was a guide layer that you could just invoke really easily. New layer. Leave me alone. And I'll group them together somehow, like that. Okay, so that's basically done. And yeah, I mean, and if it's a really long wide painting, which probably won't be for a while, then I'll just be one painting here, but I'm not going to even worry about that right now. So how do we determine the size of each painting? So let's play with that idea now. Let's think about a really wide screen, like a 1080. Where's my guides? Where's my guides? Where my guys at? Where my guides at? Now wide screens are strange. I personally don't think that many sites design for them properly. They don't really take advantage of what they have to offer. As you can see here, like if you look at Appleton's website, they've done a good job up until around 1600, and everything up from that, they kind of get rid of that widescreen feel. I'll quickly go there now. To record this video, I have to record in 920. I have to add an HDMI because my monitor is 1600. So to record these videos, I have to record in 920, and I do that by putting an HDMI adapter that converts everything to 920. I'm so happy I found it, but kind of emulates this 920 thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'm losing any. Anyways, let's just like look at Appleton right now. Typically, you would not see these gray columns. What they've done from 1600 and down was just get rid of the column concept, and experiencing their design on those widths is much different, because you really feel like the design is extending beyond the boundaries of the window. So they really haven't, they didn't take that, they didn't want to deal with anything past 1600. Probably due to just it requiring so much more work. But with this gallery, I have the possibility of doing something interesting here. If we extend this main area outward, now we can start to we don't want the paintings to hit the edge. So what I can do here is, oh shit. Yeah, Figma still hasn't figured out how to make it so somebody can so I guess that will be that. And okay, so 72 is the gutter size. No, this can move over here. Oh man, just lock that bitch into place. All right. Let's consider some more. So I need 72 here. I guess the fastest way right now would be to just draw this kind of thing here. Just pop that right there and just look at how many parts of the design process can be optimized with AI. It's so scary. So if we're incorporating a picture like this big, this tall, how much we're at 445. Let's go to 450 for a really tall picture. There we go. And now we can only fit 3 here. Not sure what's going to happen here. Oh, yeah. No, wrong one. I don't even know the distance between the top here and then, what is that? Height 15. There you go. So now we have to move. Yeah, and then how much are we going down? I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what that is. It's 40 down. Seems a bit excessive. Maybe 30 would be better. All right. Let's see. So ultimately, that's the way that's going to look. Let me get all my guides out of here. So this is how we can deal with 920. And I think, if you're dealing with anything above that, well, I don't know. You see, this is, I don't know. This is what it would be on a TV kind of monitor, full screen. I think that's enough. I mean, if we go 4K, it's not like we want to make 8 pictures across. Yeah, I don't think that would work. I'm just gonna play with until 1920. I don't want to go over that. And then if we're on this responsive flow right now, I think let's just kind of work our way down. Yeah, but what? See, my mind's going everywhere. Now we have to. So one of our constraints for determining the thumbnail size is the maximum height has to be 450. I think we can do that. Must be the. I know this is like a forced thing that has like in programming or CSS or I think Python too. Must be 450. Um, thumbnail row. Thumbnail row. Let's just thumbnail row. That's not true though. See, this is not true. Max number of thumbnails. If window width is if window width is greater than or is less than or equal to yeah, but I'm finding all these flaws in how I'm thinking right now. Shit. Let's just play around, see what we can do here. Let's do 1600. We're gonna do a 1600 here. It's really very difficult. I'm just gonna yeah. Shit. 1600. Oh shit. What happened? Okay. Wait a second. What is going on here? No. Okay. 1600, right here. Okay, so this, oh my god, it takes me so long to do that. I think we always want to force one of these thumbnails to be we always want to force, oh, let's throw that in the back. we always want to force yes, we already said that. We want thumbnail max height must equal 450 pixels, but only one of them. Oh, you know what we need? We need a rule that states thumbnail. We want to run thumbnail find ratio, some function like that. And if the ratio, see, we're going into another if thumbnail ratio is less than I'm gonna do a new one here. We're gonna say, ugh, shit. Load thumbnail gallery row. Create create thumbnail gallery row. Selects thumbnails based on default or user sort setting. Oh god, what am I doing? Selects thumbnails thumbnail order based on default by date or user sort setting. I'm just going to write this explanation down here. No. Okay, so here's what we got to do. We have to determine what the tallest painting is. And we'll probably do this. We'll probably already have, we'll definitely have this already determined. Determine tallest painting. tallest thumbnail height equals 450. Tallest thumbnail height equals 450 pixels. So that's our rule for the row. I mean, for the rest of the thumbnails. So every other thumbnail must conform to that. And that'll be fine until I start working on, you know, like 10-foot tall paintings, I guess. When that happens, it won't be a while, but at that time, I guess it'll be a time for a site overhaul, anyways. So tallest thumbnail height must equal 450 pixels. Of course, the thumbnails will be higher resolution. I mean, there'll be a number of them, right? So you're gonna have everything from 1,000 or probably 1,500 for the Retina displays to 500 for standard displays. And then from there, it gets scaled down to this 450 pixels. See, thorough design process is just very, look at this. It's like I'm writing code. But people they don't go through this. They're not innovating experience. And it leads to kind of a subpar experience. Okay, so we look through the entire database. Find so the tallest thumbnail object then you have to determine tallest thumbnail determine percentage, the percentage determine the percentage of the scaled down percentage of the tallest thumbnail. Apply scale to the rest of the thumbnails. CSS. Now we can populate our gallery. use metaphysi. What is it, metaphysi? Isotope. Use metaphysi isotope to populate So at this point, we can use metaphysi's isotope to populate the rows. And I guess we could use animations that look like that. I'm fine with that. In a way, you know. Um, so basically, metaphysi is able to keep in mind, you know, like, look, it's not going to be able to fit another one in here. Let me try to go into the code here. Can't believe I'm doing this, but so width. So if we decrease the width to 80 pixels, what happens? Oh, margin and padding. But we're not doing anything with the padding here. Okay, so we need to go float left. No, I'm trying to find the right way to do this. So that's 5 pixels there. What is element item? Trying to figure out what the parent. Changing the padding doesn't do anything, but does it? God, Jesus Christ. How do you do that? Like, no matter. Like, no matter what I do here, if I kill all these. I'm trying to see if I could. Okay, well, it's kind of working now. So it recognizes, it just shoots the next one to the next row. So we just have to feed isotope the right sizes, the right CSS, and then it just does its magic. And if we do width like 300, yeah. Width 50 pixels. But it still doesn't factor that in. I wonder if, now I'm wondering if isotope is, oh, it does. See? Yeah, duh. So we can actually just play around here for a second or two. Just click on this and click on this. Yeah, so it's going to work out. I think this is just create thumbnail gallery here. But so the main rule is to determine the tallest thumbnail out of the entire group of thumbnails from every type of picture. But this is like, I'm doing a lot of work to make sure everything's in scale. And then I want to kind of let the user know that this is indeed what's happening. I mean, I feel like there should be to scale. Let's see. Paintings to scale. Paintings. I don't even know if that's proper English. Paintings displayed to scale, so that makes sense. And I would have a little kind of, you know, how do I do that again? I don't even remember this program. No. So tired. I just had an idea to make this kind of go back and forth. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, this could be a cool animation here. But it's a bit big, I think. Yeah, something more like this. Paintings displayed to scale. And then there's going to be a way to close out of this. It, this looks like shit. Pixel grid. I want to turn off pixel grid for a second here. Because I can't get accurate. No. What the fuck happened here? There we go. What? What the fuck, dude? Still does not look right. It's still it's still snapping to the pixel grid. What the fuck, man? Snap. Dude, this is fucking bullshit, man. Ugh. Snap the pixel grid off. Well, this doesn't make sense. Oh, God. Figma really pisses me off sometimes. Makes no sense. This is obviously not centered, you fucking bitch. Jesus Christ, look at this shit. Oh, you know what? Ugh. Should be centered. But the thing is, these lines are not centered. Look at that. Dude, it took entirely way too long. Fill, I would take just so when this first loads, this will display. This onload for first time visitors. Keep alive for 20 seconds of browser window focus. Or if user escapes. Okay. And when somebody accesses the menu, what happens? Everything slides over. What I need is a new coffee. So continuing onward, I want to deal with what if a user starts to scroll. So I want to, and so this message here appears by default for users, newcomers. And I want to make sure that they see this thing happen. Like, I want it to stay alive. I have my rule is, man, they should make it easier to do this shit. So my rule is display this alert on load for first time visitors. Keep alive for 20 seconds of browser window focus, or if user escapes via escape key or X-click. So if they come to this, if they load this page, and then this will remain here, when this will get paused, the life span of this will be paused, and will resume countdown when they come back. So they'll see this here for 20 seconds, maybe less, I'm not really sure. Or until they click X. But if they don't click X and they just start scrolling down, we still want to keep this up here to show them what's up. That this is kind of an important point here, that all these paintings are displayed by, to scale. So there should be no question about what's happening. But we have another issue we have to contend with, which is when the user starts scrolling, what happens to the painting's title? Well, instead of it having just instead of it just disappearing, what about us sliding this over here? Before we do that, we'll slide this thing down, slide this over here. So another version of this might be like without the, but I think at the same time, it's not just about sliding it over, it's about dimming it, taking it down, taking the power down a bit to this level here. What is this? 888. We can apply the same to here, except, yeah, so 888, we're going to copy the style here, Control-Alt-V. Yeah. I think now it's a lot more, and this is not anything set in stone. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too faint. I'm not really sure. We'll see. So that's it. I mean, it's not it, but we know how to deal with titles now, and there's a lot of kind of acrobatics going on here. I mean, it's definitely not the lazy way to design a site like this. Oh man, I'm so hungry. Oh, we never finished this 1600. Okay. So going here and our 1600, that's our 1600 there. Now we're gonna scoot this over here. Actually, I'm just gonna lock this back. Take these, what is it again? What the fuck is going on here? Oh, I forgot. I have all my shit turned off. Snaps. All snaps are turned off. Can I turn all these on at the same time? No. Okay. Not a master at this yet, obviously. So 72 is there, so we're going to do 72. There we go. That's our column. I'll make it another color a little bit. And so here's a situation where we're going to only be able to fit, because we're at 445 here. What's this? 445. Yeah, I mean, so let's look at what's going on here? Oh, I still haven't done this. There we go. And now we can unlock again, and now, oops. No, we just want the rectangular, dude. Oh, that's annoying. And I don't know what we always want to make sure there's, so if the width is going to be 72 of these gutters, then we want to make sure we force a 72 width border. Oh God, man, that's so fucking annoying. Man, what happened? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? No, I'm not. You see, that's the thing. I'm trying to select the. Oh, God, you fucking motherfucker. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I'll just go like that. There we go. Send to the back. Lock in place. So this is our row here. And what we do here is we're going to group and then center within this. Oh, well, that's close enough, but not really. I kind of want to make sure it's. Okay, so we're going to unlock. This is really annoying. God damn it. Okay, so that's what it looks like there. Unlock. Gonna start sliding this stuff over. Let's work on 1000. Cutting it dramatically here. Look at that. But device dimensions. Okay, so here is one, and there's nothing like 1000. So 1024 by 768 seems like a popular view kind of thing, you know? So 768. Now we are severely, I mean, at this point, we're kind of getting scrunched in here, you know? And what I would like to do at this point is to start to shrink up by a little bit here. And I'm just swinging it at this point. So what I want to do really is get rid of the concept of a sidebar because it's just stupid. I mean, I kind of want it there, but no, I don't. It can live here. Gotta see what these 40. Okay. Um, Locking it. Mm. Oh wow, how did I do that? Wow. So that makes sense. So the max height here is, I don't know. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's going to be a tall painting. This one's going to be more like wide. No. There we go. And we're going to force the 40 gutter and group these and then center them. So now we're dealing with a centered design here. At this point, I want to move this over here. And I want to show what this might look like on scroll. Just hide this. All right. So this is 1024 by around 1024, whatever. So on scroll, we are going to so paintings have to go somewhere. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I can't stand there. You could live in the column, I guess, in a very light way. Let's try to do we do vertical. Text vertical. Can we do that? I guess we just do vertical by doing a normal, yeah. What am I thinking? Okay. What the fuck? This don't look right. What is going on here? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, why is this one so light? I don't get it. Oh my god, my nose is itching like a motherfucker. Holy fucking shit. Oh, it was beat. Man, my eyesight's so bad. You know what? Actually, in this case, I'm just going to get rid of it. Not a big deal. I think I'm done with this session. I don't want to do this anymore.